Hello, my name is Miranda Fernandez-Prado, and this is my project on Offal wildlife watching, understanding scavenging behavior across Minnesota biomes. This study was provided by Zooniverse, with people including Ellen Candler, Grace Milanowski, Joseph Bump, and Amy Rager, all with respective degrees and careers in wildlife ecology, environmental science, and animals and conservation. A brief introduction. Minnesota is home to many native species, and its biomes have differing topography, vegetation, and human land use. The main biomes of this study include deciduous forests, coniferous forests, prairie grassland, tallgrass aspen parklands, and an additional smaller metro section will be included. By using hunter-provided offal in these biomes, we will come to a larger understanding of how potential resources like these can influence scavengers and other hunting strategies by animals, as well as how, when, and what species use hunter-provided offal for. So, as far as methods, after completing a brief overview and tutorial, I did image analysis, which was done on sets of 3 images, which were taken in succession, and identification was done on some categories, including presence of snow, what is in the image, such as animals, humans, nothing, etc., what animals are present, if any, and how many, the present behaviors such as resting, moving, feeding, etc., and if young were present. So, if you look over at the main findings, overall the data suggested that scavenging behavior is increased during periods of food scarcity, such as the winter season, or when difficulty of catching prey is higher due to good health of prey items. For example, deer that have been feeding all summer have grown way stronger, and in the winter may become more hard to catch due to increased speed and strength. This can lead to predators becoming more opportunistic and eating things such as berries, easier to catch prey, or even offal if it is found. Directing your attention toward the results, this first graph depicts differences in the frequency of visits to the offal sites across the 30-day period in which the offal was set out in 3 of the main biomes from this study. Different predators had varying levels of ease finding offal due to detection methods, which may indicate why the average counts were where they were. Things such as prairie land are much far open, so birds and carnivores had an easier time finding it, while other places like coniferous and deciduous forests may be more abundant with trees and harder for certain animals to find the piles. In regards to the Minnesota biomes, birds were the most frequent scavenger, using offal as a food resource. The birds were also observed to have an advantage in most biomes since flying provides an overhead view that makes offal pile detection much easier than other animals such as carnivores who rely on scent for offal pile detection, thus causing them to take a longer time to find piles. If you look at graph 2, this depicts the differences in most frequent types of scavengers in each biome, with birds being the most common in all the biomes with the exception of the prairie region, which had a higher density of carnivores found in the image data. So dark blue is other birds, orange is carnivores, gray is ungulates, yellow is small mammals, light blue is raptors, and green is domestics. So as you can see from the 4 main biomes, birds seem to be the most abundant, while in the prairie land, carnivores are more abundant with birds coming close behind. Carnivores did appear more frequently in the prairie lands, but often in groups, and potentially this makes suggestions of hunting strategies and group dynamics of carnivores compared to other groups such as other birds, and this may suggest a new direction for future research studies. Overall, the data is showing that the scavenging behavior as a result to the offal piles definitely increased when food was scarcer or when catching prey was more difficult. This was very prominent in the winter season, and in the future, perhaps more studies can be done to examine these relationships between specific species and group hunting strategies. Thank you so much and have a good one.